Hello everyone, I'm Elizabeth Powers and I'm an author and social advocate. I'm about to reveal the topic of my book by reading its prologue. I'm not a medical doctor, nor am I a psychologist or a sociologist. I'm neither a world leader, nor am I a celebrity of international renown. To date, I'm not yet a recognized author. What I am is a woman whose body happens to be barren. No one talks about barrenness. This book is about breaking the silence of being barren, a current reality for over 100 million women and men worldwide. It's time their truth is told, and in doing so, reach out to the global community for understanding and compassion on their behalf. Barrenness has been a taboo topic for centuries. As someone who's been officially barren for more than 20 years, I can no longer remain passive about both the stigma and the burden that accompanies barrenness. While it's impossible to help past generations, I'm determined to effect change for those today and those in the future. At the outset, let me assure you, it gives me no pleasure to use the word barren. I choose it neither for shock value nor to sensationalize a reality. On the contrary, in the English language, the word barren describes most factually the state of being incapable of producing offspring. Its clarity leaves no room for misinterpretation. Through no wish of my own, I have first-hand knowledge about what it's like to live as an unfertile woman in today's society. I've become adept about how barrenness feels and how it plays out day to day. By opening up and sharing my awareness, it's my intent to explore barrenness with all its realities, thereby providing readers with an accurate and thought-provoking depiction. Characteristically, those who are barren share the tendency to remain quiet about their inability to conceive, not wishing to draw attention to this reality. I live in a small town in Canada of about 6,000 people, wherein to publicly announce I'm barren requires a leap of faith that I won't be ridiculed, especially as a first-time writer. However, when I consider those who may roll their eyes about my decision to tackle this subject, I become even more dogged. Although barrenness may not directly affect them or their own family members, it's highly probable that it touches the lives of neighbors in their community, couples at their church, or colleagues in their workplace. One day, it may even affect their children and grandchildren. Barrenness is not choosy whom it afflicts, happening to those who least expect it. Being Canadian, I live proudly and gratefully in a society where, as a female, I'm allowed to express my opinions without fear of punishment. As such, I can declare openly that I feel a profound sense of obligation to the millions of barren women and men to enlighten others about their circumstances. Moreover, I have a fervent desire to offer them support. It's said that, quote, the more specific, the more universal, end of quote. I trust by describing my personal experiences, I will speak the truth for other barren women and men. My hope is to inspire them to acknowledge their individual truths about being childless, and in the process, develop strong, clear voices to break the silence, voices that liberate their feelings and evoke understanding from others in their families and in their communities. In a world unsteady with human rights abuses, global warming issues, and stagnant economies, is it a priority to enlighten others about what it's like to be barren? It might be argued that no one actually dies from not being able to conceive their children. Be certain that barrenness very much matters to those stricken by it, those who face being ostracized by others in their communities and minimized by their peers. Dr. Maya Angelou, American civil rights activist, poet, and educator, writes, quote, each time a woman stands up for herself, without knowing it possibly, without claiming it, she stands up for all women, end of quote. This compelling notion resonates deeply within me. In fact, it's one of the foremost catalysts prompting me to create a book which will honor barren women and men worldwide, and in the process, myself. My intention is clear. I will stand up and I will claim speaking out about barrenness with candor and with passion. Since time immemorial, there have been barren women and men. There will be billions more. Thus, for those now, and for those that follow, I invite you to read on. The title of the book is Breaking the Silence of Being Barren. I acknowledge that barren may seem to be an outdated and overly severe term to describe one's inability to conceive. I've chosen to use it because of what I experienced personally. For 6 years, my ex-husband Ron and I underwent treatment for infertility. Unfortunately, despite receiving medical care of the highest caliber, we did not achieve a pregnancy. Not long after our last unsuccessful in vitro fertilization treatment, two things became abundantly clear to me. My body was incapable of creating life, and what's more, it felt barren. There is another reason. When I would mention that I was infertile, many people would automatically presume that I would conceive eventually because of the advancements being made in the treatment of infertility. In fact, this assumption started to become the norm. Only when I used barren to describe my body, a far less scientific term, according to some, did they understand exactly what I was saying. Currently, 1 in 6 couples worldwide experience some sort of infertility problem. I'd wager that many of you have someone in your midst, a family member, colleague, friend, or member of your community who is either facing the challenges of infertility or needing to come to terms with the reality that their dream of giving life to their child is never going to be realized. One of the main objectives of my book is to offer kindness and empathy to those with journeys similar to mine. As such, I encourage you to forward my email to those who you think would benefit. In turn, I invite these women and men to reach out to me via my email address. I'll respond to each of their messages. I will also add their names to my distribution list and commit to keeping them apprised of my book's progress as well as its publication date. Lastly, below this video, there's a link with additional information about the book and the mission that I've set for myself. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time.